Motion to approve the minutes of the October 8th, 2015 Township Board meeting and the October 8th special meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as provided.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Been moved and supported that the minutes of the October 8th, 2015 regular meeting and special meeting of the Manistee Township Board be accepted and placed on file. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Carried. Treasurer's report. You've received a copy of your treasurer's report. What's your wishes?
Make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented.
I'll second.
Been moved and supported that the treasurer's report be accepted and placed on file. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Carried. Pardon me? Okay. In your packet, you've been provided with the minutes of the accepted minutes from the Manistee Township Planning Commission for the September 4th minutes.
I also included October 7th.
Right.
Yeah,
Approved minutes.
Oh, yes, okay. Oh, yes, sorry. So that's September 3rd and October 7th minutes. Is there a motion to accept them?
Just file them.
Okay,
Which is fine.
okay. There was no appeals meeting?
That's correct. No appeals.
Correspondence in your packet, any questions?
Correspondence in the packet, and I don't see it unless I ran over it here on the agenda. What's happening with River Road, Brown Township?
No, I will get to that, John, with the
project.
first, number one,
New business.
new business.
Okay,
You okay?
okay.
Anything else? Anyone with anything to bring before the board at this time? Mr. Commissioner?
Okay. As you know, I'm a liaison to the road commission. Couple points of interest. They have a problem with the Forest Service blocking the Red Bridge Fire Tower Road between Pole Road to the fire tower. And I don't know if there's anything in the township that applies, but I'm just saying it's just something to keep an eye on. It's actually a county designated road, and the fire service is kind of taking it over, and there's issues there.
Is that the road, Jeff, that Melky has been squealing about for several years now?
I think that might be. I think I remember that name coming up.
That was a hot issue a year or two ago.
Yeah, I think
Where's
that's
that?
correct.
It's not in
Whole road, it's not in our county.
But it's just something to be aware of, because it's, you know, another example of where the feds are getting a little carried away. Also, the Calva garage has been rented to Tom Watt. He signed a rental agreement, and but due to the oil prices, his revenue is down. We've done this in the past. It was $3,000 a month anyways. He's lowered down to $1,500 a month, and then he hopes to catch up when the price comes back up. So just a point of interest. As far as the county board goes, received a grant for $5,000 for the sheriff's department from the Forest Service, and that's something that's done annually. It's nothing new. West Shore College President Kenneth Urban said that I believe the number was 8% decrease in enrollment this year, and he says that's not unusual. The entire state's that way. He says your college enrollment, it almost graphs employment. He says if employment's going up, enrollment's going down. So he said there's only 2 or 3 schools in the state that had like a 2 or 3% decrease, and one was held neutral, I think, if I have the numbers correct. Dial-A-Ride, we had annual resolutions, nothing new there, but that was done this last month. Russ Pomeroy, the county treasurer, told us the 4 properties that did not sell at the first auction did wind up selling, so that was good. And the other thing that we've been wrestling with the dog pound from back when I was on the commission last time. So it's been there for, we finally sold that. Russ got $10,500 for the dog pound, so that was good. Okay, guy, this is a point of interest of you and hopefully more in the room, the resolution for watershed groups sent to the County Planning Commission. I was kind of a little bit surprised when this came up before on the agenda for us. There was basically a benign blanket resolution that said that the county board supported all groups, watershed groups in the county, and I'm not going to sign off on a blanket seal of approval to any watershed group, because you could have watershed group A supporting item B, which the county board may or may not support. If they don't support it, you're saying we support them for supporting whatever they want to support. And what it becomes is, I got schooled dealing with the big Manistee River back with the, what is it, Natural and
Scenic
Rivers designation. Yes. And that becomes a 500-foot setback issue on both sides of the bank. And these things, the little Manistee watershed group has come before us, but a lot of the people aren't from the county, they aren't from Stronach, and they're wanting us to give us endorsement for this, and it becomes zoning issues. And I'm old school, and I grew up on a farm, and I want the zoning issues to be left at the local level. I don't want to see people from other counties or Lansing trying to tell us if you can't cut a tree, or you can't cut the grass for a picnic area or whatever down alongside your property on your river. So that was a 3-3 tie for adopting the resolution. So then I made a resolution to send it to the County Planning Commission and back to, well, it never went to the Planning Commission.
Oh.
There was a different resolution that was sent to the Planning Commission the previous month, and they tabled that because there wasn't enough support for it. Then this was a new resolution that was drafted and brought to us, and we wound up sending this to the County Planning Commission. So it was a pretty contentious issue for about a half hour. And actually it was even more contentious after they left the room, from what I'm told. Something else we did was the sheriff signed a tactical agreement with Filer Township. He pulled that from them probably a little over a year ago. He was comfortable with it at this point in time, so we put it back in place. The Northern Michigan Mutual Aid, reciprocal law enforcement. So what there is like the sheriff's departments and like the Little River Band, they have a team that they pool. So if there's some emergency going on and somewhere in the region, this team will get pulled to go work on it. Anyways, that was signed for the Little River Band to be a part of that also again. We made 3 West Shore Medical our hospital appointments. Glenn Zaring, Brian Postman, and Dr. Dunlop. We had 2 appointments to the Board of Canvassers. Republican was Valentine, and Trucks was a Democrat. The concealed pistol law. There's no gun boards as of December 1st. It's done entirely differently. I don't know what knowledge I have. The clerk and the state police. The state police does the checks, and the clerk issues the permits. One other thing, point of interest for you guys, the Bar Lake Improvement Board, if I got the number, I think if I remember right, it was $300 treated for frag bites, was just done here a week or 2 ago. They didn't do any lily pad treatment, which wasn't part of our charge anyway, but it was too late for them to treat it, so it didn't happen for the association. And that is all I've got.
I have a question.
Yes.
So who's bringing these resolutions to the board? A group, the watershed group?
The
Or
watershed
county
group, the
planning?
watershed group brought the first one that we sent, that went to the planning commission. This one came from, or there wasn't a resolution, if I remember right, that came before us. That one went to the planning commission. The planning commission tabled the first one. The second one, the one that we had the contentious issue over, that was, I believe, brought by the planner.
The county planning?
Yes.
Okay,
Now, I may be wrong, but I don't think so.
okay.
But, I wasn't exactly thrilled with that. I mean, especially kind of coming out of left field. It should have went through the county planning commission first.
Jeff, do you know anything about the countywide recreation plan?
All I've heard is he's been working on that a lot, and AES made some changes, and things weren't real happy and over that, but I don't know all the specifics of it either. It's moving forward, I do know that. I don't have any great detail on it whatsoever. And that's not a pretty weak answer, but it's something I'm not involved with, really.
Any other questions for Jeff? Thank you. Guy, is there anything going on?
All right. As far as zoning administration goes, I had 4 receipts in the month of October. Trying to remember what they were. 2 accessory buildings, an outdoor wood boiler, change of use at Parkdale Auto for their used auto dealership, and an addition to a home. No complaints. Let's see. We've been meeting with the Little River Band of Ottawa Indians on sewer rates. I think we had 3 meetings maybe in October. Or 3 meetings lately, anyway. We've come to an agreement. It has to be approved by tribal council and us once it's published. So that hasn't happened yet. Been no change in our negotiations with city on water. Bar Lake Improvement Board, you knew more about it than I did. We're not meeting again until March. No changes with McGinnis Drain.
Who's not meeting till March?
The Bar Lake Improvement Board.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
Last week, the Planning Commission had a public hearing concerning a funnel development out along Lakeshore Road. And then they went in to consider that at their regular meeting, and they postponed the decision because the crowd in general, and most of the comments were they weren't happy with the particular site plan that was presented, and suggestions were made, and the developer thought they were a good idea that addressed the concerns of the people at the hearing and at the meeting. And so we're waiting, or the Planning Commission's waiting for that to come back to it.
They're gonna redraft it, is that?
They're gonna redraft the
Redraw.
site plan,
Okay.
yeah. Still gonna be a 10 parcel development though. What else? Oh, and to get back to the rec plan, the Planning Commission representative to the county rec plan had not been attending the meetings, and so at last Thursday's meeting, Linda Fineout volunteered and was appointed to attend those meetings. She went to the first meeting, or the latest meeting, yesterday evening, and there's some deadlines that they'd like to have met by next Monday, the 16th of November, which the information they want probably just can't be pulled together that soon. Not in a week, so. I don't know if, hopefully we're not gonna hold up the whole county's recreation plan if we're a week or 2 late, but anyhow. So there's another number of concerns the Planning Commission had on that issue. Because what was in the draft plan really wasn't matching with what the Planning Commission had proposed for inclusion in the recreation plan. But I'm sure Ms. Fineout will sort it out.
I think she's on the trail.
Yeah. Nothing more, thank you. Any questions?
Any questions for Guy? Thank you, sir. Chuck, anything
Yeah.
going on in the fire department?
Actually, the month of October was a little bit slower, which was a nice thing. We had 3 fire-related calls, only 12 medical-related, and then 5 station trainings and other activities. Total of 20 activities. Personnel hours were at 328. Chief and officers' hours total 96, so the total was 424 hours for October. We did have that Fire Prevention Day back on October 11th. We had approximately 80 to 100 people show up. It was a good turnout. We had really good weather that day, though, so that helped a lot. The city didn't have that many, neither did Filer the day before. So. Ladder 133, it's still getting some warranty work. That's probably the last thing that we need. The nozzle on the tip, West Shore Services took that. Should have it back in another week or so. We did replace the tires on 135R Suburban, and we're still waiting on the hose bed cover to be completed for 134. Still working on the county training facility. Still plugging away at that. Nothing more on the revenue sharing funds until December. We had the fire extinguishers annually tested this last month. And nothing more on the flashing lights out on 31, but it's through the state, so it might take a while, maybe next spring. Tom has a power plan, that grant application will show you later. We have 2 new applicants that we talked about last night with them, and everything came back good on their background checks and stuff, and they've been showing up to meetings. So tonight, if we could have a motion to approve the 2 fellows, Daniel Atkinson and Matt Cross, for probation, that'd be good. And then we can get a little bit more involved. Matt has some training, Daniel doesn't, but he's willing to take the courses starting in January. And you ask him to do something, they do it without even complaining, so it's kind of nice. Unlike Tom, you ask Tom to do something, he gives you stuff. I'm just teasing.
You want to clarify those names, Daniel Atkinson?
Atkinson, A-T-K-I-N-S-O-N,
Okay.
and Matt Cross, C-R-O-S-S. And the only other thing I have is we went to that MTA meeting in Frankenmuth on October 14th, myself and Wes. Made for a long day to Frankenmuth from here, but it was good training. Talked about social media. It was pretty interesting stuff. There was a couple, that could have been a whole 2-day class. The lawyer talked about it, and it was down and dirty hour presentation. You're standing there going, you know, things that make you go, So there was an interesting fact in this is 2014 statistics. He was saying that 71% of the folks are on Facebook. Half the population has smartphones, and of half the population, 65% of those use social media with a smartphone. So, you know, the videos you see and stuff of different things that, you know, are on TV anymore are mostly like by smartphones. So it was quite, that was 2014, so 2015, I'm sure there's more. So we also talked about, at that meeting, there was what's called FirstNet. It's not out yet, but it's coming to Michigan. They use the 800 megahertz technology, like cell phone technology, and what it would be is for like fire departments, ambulance services, police, even DPW, anywhere that would, like an emergency scene or something that was a disaster or anything, that it basically has a separate line. So like when you call a 911 right now, it goes to the cell tower if you're calling from your cell phone, and if 30 people call that, it can only hold so many. So this is a different system that's coming. It's going to be a while. It was interesting, but they talked about that quite a long time. We also talked about mutual aid box alarms, which is similar to what we're doing with East Lake with automatic tone out. When we get a structure fire, they come automatically. That's kind of a set thing, pre-planned. Box alarms are more for pre-planned at different sites. Say like the hospital, you have something there, they would pull a box alarm for different people from the area to come, or like strike teams or task forces. That can also be used like out of county or other parts of the county. They've had people that had that in Indiana that actually went to Trina, they call it one. So they're pre-planned stuff. And then top 10 things your chief should be providing. Dave Peterson presented that. Talk about commitment goals, risk reduction, policies, discipline, education, knowledge, information, leadership, and management. So that was pretty good. And it was a good information, and there were some folks from Filer there. Arcadia were there. They actually stayed the night, which was probably a better thing to do than drive. Me and Wes left pretty early in the morning. made for a long day, but we learned a lot. It was a couple of eye-opener things, so we'll keep working forward to that. That's all I have.
Any questions for Chuck? Thanks, Chuck, and again, convey to your people that we're thankful for all the work that they do.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll get those 2 new people.
Do we have to make a motion for that? Did you ask for that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because
Okay.
you know, we all work for the township, so I can't approve.
No, that's proper procedure. But it's your recommendation that they be accepted in the
Yes,
fire?
we talked
How big
about
a crew will that give you then?
Well, our numbers have kind of fluctuated over the last few months. We had a roster right around 18, so what some people are working a lot, we're working second shift. So that should bring us, it should hold us right about 18 to 20.
I'd entertain a motion to accept Daniel Atkinson and Matt Cross as members of the Manistee Township Fire Department.
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
I support.
And moved and supported that by the recommendation of the officers at the fire department that we accept Daniel Atkinson and Matt Cross as, are these probationary firemen?
They'll be probationary for 6
As
months.
probationary firemen of the Manistee Township Fire Department. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. None opposed? Thank you. There's no significant changes for the liquor inspections. Weather's been pretty nice. Jeff, when can we expect, when does the Oaks
It's
liaison meeting
quarterly,
again?
so we just had one, well, I gave you the info at the last board meeting, so it'll be 3 months from, it's gonna be, I don't know if it's January or December.
No, you gave it to us in last month.
Yeah,
And that
it
was
says
for the
every
month
3
before.
months, it's every 3 months.
No, it'll be December.
Okay.
And
The meeting will be in
then-
December.
Yeah, yep.
Cromer McGinnis Train, as Guy suggested that there's nothing new there. I did contact her, I called and left a message with the drain commissioner asking him if there's meetings, when there's meetings, and if there's any update, and I never received a call back, so evidently things are,
Do you know anything about your buddy, Jeff?
No, but this is one issue that with the camera here, I would hope the people in the community are paying attention to. This is a major, major issue. You know, what about the tax roll? I know there's been a loan that he's taken out, like $195,000.
and when do you want it back?
Well, I just did, I mean, it's,
I mean, seriously, we gotta have some numbers. We gotta-
exactly. This is a problem.
What would you like the public to do?
Well, it's something they need to be aware of with the next election.
Okay.
Unfinished business, the Portage Lake Channel, I think that's been
Done.
moved forward.
Well, you know, they're waiting on the feds to do something.
Yeah.
And my guess is unless something happens structurally.
So you don't need the resolution.
Well, the resolution's always good. It's not gonna hurt a bit, you know. Is it gonna do anything? In all honesty, probably not, but the more they hear from the local units and the people in the community, the better it is.
I contacted some people in Onekama and asked them to formally ask us to do something about that, and they haven't heard anything. So. Anything under unfinished business, anything else? Under new business, Township Road Project for 2016, I left you a note with my suggestions, but it doesn't mean that that's what we gotta do, but I would like the board to consider the half mile or whatever it is on the end of River Road between, or Millark Road between River Road and
River Road.
the end of the river, the blacktop portion there. I spoke with Mr. Scholden at the Road Commission, Steve Parsons at the Little River Band of Ottawa Indians, and Paulie Adamski, the supervisor of Brown Township, and everybody would be ready to go in 2016 to finish that project up.
Long overdue, in my opinion.
The other project that I just made a note of was the River Road. There's been some concern, or not the River Road, the Olson Road. There's been some concern about that. I met out there with Dan Klaus from Road Commission. He said the road is narrow, the edges are breaking off, can be wedged. It doesn't, at this point, it was felt that it doesn't need to be ground and redone or whatever, but I
I
would,
see you had just 55 to the east. You're not going to go around the corner and up back to Pine Creek Road?
the majority of the damage is from 55 to the corner.
Okay, just curious. Yeah.
Are we in agreement that those, or do we have something else that should be addressed, or?
I'm in agreement with those two.
No, I
Okay.
total agreement with
River
River
Road, yeah.
Miller Road.
Just a point of interest, next time you go down Bar Lake Road, watch it when you get down to the swamp, because I have a bicycle down through there, and there's some holes that are starting to show, pop up in there. And at times, if you get heavy rain, it does flow across. There's possibly even some culvert work that could be done down there.
Well, John brought that to my attention when he got back from out west, and I went and we talked to him about that too, because there is a culvert, I think it's the first culvert to the north, that's deteriorating and possibly gonna cave in, and that would come under maintenance.
Yeah.
But they have looked at it.
Is Cot Road on that list?
17.
17.
It is, or it's already planned. We use that sometimes to divert traffic, and that's a terrible road. That's the only way we can do it.
Let me
Also
make
tell
a
you we've got
suggestion,
20
if I
years.
may, as long as you talk about diverting traffic. We've been in a lot of situations, and you guys are not to blame, but a lot of people will make them turn up Hill Road because there's something, let's say 55 and 31, so they make them turn up Hill Road. Then you don't know where the hell to go after that.
Right.
There needs to be somebody at each corner,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, we've talked about that. But I know when we do divert them around there, it's, you don't really want to send any heavy trucks down through there. It's, that road isn't good for us to drive down with just the fire trucks, so. I'm glad it's on the list.
Yes, it is. That's a whole different group of funding and things.
Right.
Yeah, but when that is, just to follow up on what Dennis had said, you know, then Hill and Cott, Donson 22, and get them back,
Right.
you know.
Usually we stop and tell them which way to go, but sometimes there's this overwhelming amount of traffic, you can't do that. So.
No, well, I understand it.
Or we're short people to.
Exactly,
corners.
you know, but you guys aren't the ones that made me think of this. When my wife and I travel a lot and we get detoured and
Right, you're like, where do I go?
we're out in the farm country somewhere, we got
Just
no
follow
idea
the
where
traffic.
Google Maps.
Yeah. Yeah, they do have we've been trying to, when we have something that's gonna be like a long duration, try to get the CERT team out, takes them about an hour or so to come out, they can help do stuff like that. That's something new now that we didn't have in the past.
Fire department grant presentation. Tommy, do you have a grant you'd like to apply for?
Yes, a year ago, we applied for a car grant for a risk reduction management program. And what it is what we want it for anyway, is for security at the fire department. The proposal would be to improve the security of the station, to install electronic door locks, proximity card readers for all the doors. We would also be able to monitor who's coming and who's going, when they came and when they left. Everybody would get a card. The card can be programmed to that person, and at the end or whenever, if the person leaves or quits or whatever, all it is to go in a computer and change it. We don't have to cut it up or anything, and you can't use it again. It would also be set up so that if they're in a building, when they leave, they press a button and walk out the door. That way we know they've left. It would have sensors for heat. I don't know if it was on lighting or not, but it would be heat and electricity in case the power goes out, or if the heat goes out, it would send an alarm to one of us and let us know what's going on there. It would also, if the garage door is left partially open, it would tell us that the door is, so that nothing freezes. It would be expandable to have a security system on it, or with a light or a camera, so we can see who's in there and what's going on. I believe Filer has this in their building, and they're able to, with the cell phone, they can actually look to see who's in the station and what's going on. Like I said, it can be expanded into other things. We called this Mike Moran, and he was the risk control representative for our area, and he gave us some ideas on what we needed to change on the grant. And last year we had asked for $6,000. He said, well, they only give out $5,000, so we had to change that. But that also changed the township's participation in it to $29,000 or $2,900, $2,900 about. So what we're asking is if the township would do the participation in it. The total project would be $7,907.
This is, I think this is the type of thing that the power plant wants to support.
Right, that's what he was.
He doesn't, currently they don't want to buy air bottles, they don't want to buy masks, they don't want to buy gloves, they don't want to buy security systems, because they're insuring the building, and this.
Right. So, I mean, this is what they recommended. He looked at it, I sent him an email with it, and he wrote back with a few of the problems that he's seen, and then we redid it. So what we're asking is if the township would pay $2,907 if we get approved. And then we have, what was it, I forget how many months. We had a couple of months that it had to be done in.
6 months.
I think it was 6 months from the date that we received the okay. We've got 6 months to complete the project.
Is it a, help me here, is it a reimbursement?
Well, I guess that's what they call it. I'm not sure. It really doesn't say anything in here about that. It's just the township participation.
Wouldn't that be a match, kind
Yeah,
It is a match.
I'm thinking, yeah.
But I don't know if the project has to be done and then they reimburse you for it, or if they send you the money and then you do the project.
The way you have that all itemized, Tom, does everything have to be complete, or can we pick and choose what we want out of there?
I think it pretty much has to be complete.
You can't do A without B, is what you're telling me.
Right.
And these prices were given to you by a vendor of some sort?
Well, Frank did the initial part of it, and he had already gotten all the pricing and all that. So, he's pretty up on that stuff.
The question that I have, and I don't know, you can buy a desktop PC for $480.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a
It's just
real,
specific for this.
yeah, right.
Your building will be secured better than the hall.
Yeah. Well,
They're a dumpster over there.
yeah,
A lot of expensive equipment in there, so.
we just,
We've been pretty fortunate, but the other day Dan got a call because the door was open and we didn't know. So things like that you don't want to, there's a lot of people that travel around Wesco and they see something open and
And that was 2 a.m. in the morning.
so
Is
everybody's.
that right?
Yeah.
Next time, I'm gonna, because I don't think they all believe me, next time I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna set off the siren.
I believe him, but he pulled my leg a lot.
No, that's true, it was open at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Lights off, nobody around.
And then we give that code out sometimes, and in order to change that code, it's a real pain with that door lock. You don't want to have to change it out then. With this system, you give somebody a temporary card, it's only good, you can change it. If someone does leave, you can just cancel their card so they can't get in. So, Filer's had it for a while and they seem to really like it.
It's just like the morale booster they got at PZA, it's a cattle gauge, you gotta swipe the card and the gauge doesn't
I
work.
haven't seen that.
I like how you said that, cattle gate.
You're asking about township participation. Are we talking about money coming out of the general fund or out of the fire department budget?
Good question.
I mean, are you guys
Well, I
asking
think
for
you're-
authority to spend that money out of your budget or out of our budget?
Well,
Well, and I'm guessing, that if it was coming out of their budget, they wouldn't ask our permission.
Right.
Okay, just go ahead and do it.
well,
I don't think they have a line item within their budget that it says for grant match or anything like that. They would have to take money from some other place within their
we're
budget.
still
They
working on our
don't, but
budget.
they do have line items for capital improvements,
Which this would fall.
Right. which this would qualify as.
Just.
That's all.
It's all township
Great.
tax.
It's a good question.
It's a great question.
Then you would find out how important it is.
Yeah. Just gotta-
And I support it either way. I mean, I just wondered whose mind any money was coming from.
Any questions?
I have no questions.
Well, did we decide where it was coming from?
We can at this point. And you could shed more light on that than I can.
I think I have an opinion, and my opinion would be their fire department gets a budget at the beginning of the fiscal year, and until that budget has all been used, they should use their money.
Their own
And
money.
if in fact there was a need after that money was used, then that discussion would happen at that point. Can we help you out with general fund dollars or not? That would be my opinion.
You?
I would agree.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
That being said, any questions from you fellas?
We'll just have to make sure what we have for budget. Then
We
go
can
from there.
get you that.
Yeah, so basically what we're saying is use your own money, and if you don't have it, come then ask
Right,
for, yeah.
right, we still have to get permission to spend large amounts.
Well, we appreciate you coming forward with it.
Right.
And we would like that procedure to continue.
Plus, this actually needs
But still as a
approval to apply for the
Still as a
grant.
board, it needs board approval for them.
To
Correct.
apply for
Yep,
it.
Apply
yep,
for
yep.
it, right?
This
Yeah,
particular,
in
this
order to
particular
apply
grant.
for the grant, they still
that's
need
part of
approval
it,
of the
yeah.
board.
Yeah,
But they actually need a resolution, I would think.
They do.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, even if we approve it today, there has to be the whereas and the how's.
Heretofore.
Yeah, all.
Mike Warren told you there had to be a resolution supporting this?
Yes,
Yes,
it's right on the,
it's right
right
on
on the
here.
form.
that way we can't spend our own money without their permission.
Where do you see that?
First page,
First page,
Resolution being the township board.
right down here. Resolution of Manistee Township Board, signed and attached. So we would need a resolution in support of this application for the grant, and we would need to agree that the 2907 could be spent and it's approved by the board. It doesn't ask us to
Where-
specify
no, right.
which fund it comes out of, but we do have to approve it as a board.
It's supported.
Correct.
Right.
After that, it's no one else's business with taxpayers in Manistee Township.
Correct.
And we don't have a sample resolution, but we can come up with one.
I'm sure we can.
And I think Frank Post has that sample resolution.
From last time?
Yes, yeah, because we worked a lot of hours on that project, so
Yeah,
I think he has that.
So we can't act on this now until we get that resolution?
We can put in the minutes that we're approving it, but, you know, it's tentative on signing that resolution and all that when he gets it to us. but we don't
The way
need a
it's,
special.
I think the way it's set, you know, there has to be a board signatures have to be on it,
Yeah. On the resolution.
on the resolution.
So that's one piece that we don't have, but a piece that we can approve pending its creation, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, see, this has got to be in the mail before the 30th.
Right.
Well, then we should make a motion.
Well, I understand that, but yet I don't. How do we approve something we don't know what we're approving? We're approving a resolution, I understand that.
Well, I think
That says they can
Pardon?
apply, the resolution would be that we're approving the resolution that states
that they can
we're
apply
supporting
for.
this grant, and the amount that they would be spending would be 2907 or whatever it turned out to be.
Their policy.
Okay.
We can have a resolution to support the fire department grant application for the fire department security and station monitoring improvements as,
How about just a risk reduction grant program as presented?
and we can do that as well.
Okay.
And the resolution can be that simple. It just needs to be offered, it needs to be supported, and it needs to be voted on and signed.
I'd entertain a motion to accept the resolution to support the risk reduction grant program. Grant application is being applied for by the Manistee Township Fire Department for the total amount of $7907 with the township, or with the local share being $2907.
I make that motion.
And I'll support it.
Okay. It's been moved, supported that the Township Board support, or resolve to support the risk reduction grant program application by the Manistee Township Fire Department for the amount of $7907 with the local share being $2907. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. There you are, fellas.
Well, we didn't create the process.
No, I know.
We had free money, so it's paying.
Yeah? The next item is the 2016 Township Calendar. Diana supplied each of you with a calendar that you've had some time to review. I would like to move the February meeting. I would like the board to consider moving the February meeting. It's currently February 11th. I would like it to be the 18th, if that's possible.
I don't have any problem with it.
Me, yeah.
You don't care, you won't be here. Yeah. Any other dates you'd like to move? Any other considerations? Diane would like to know, she has to post these.
Okay, so February would move to the 18th.
Yes.
Let me just look through my notes.
The only other really
I
important
forgot.
date is deer season.
Planning meeting was moved from the 7th to the 21st of April.
Just go on the road.
Trash day is set up for the 14th of May. Zoning and planning are combined in June on the 2nd.
In December.
June and December.
Mhm.
The Board of Review in December is on Tuesday the 13th, not Monday the 12th as is listed on your calendar.
Well, that was changed.
Yes, we marked it on the wrong day. It needs to be on Tuesday after the second Monday.
The
And
general election is 8th of November.
yes, it is. And the board meeting's on the 10th. And deer season is until the following week, so
That doesn't
we
matter.
should be good.
Can I get a copy of that calendar?
Yes,
It'll
we're
be
working off
posted.
in drafts right now, so we'll get it put together in a final form with the time. And
Make sure
yes,
you get
you
it.
may have a copy of it.
Something to look at.
Are we gonna talk about a 7 o'clock hour?
Yeah, are we finished with the calendars? The calendar's all set? The other thing I'd like to suggest is, we've talked about this in the past, all other meetings start at 7 PM. Why can't ours?
Or 6.
You can.
I'd like to ask your thoughts on having starting January's meeting at 7 PM.
7 a.m., there you go.
Wow. That'd be all right too. I think it's a good idea.
Okay with you?
It's fine with me, I don't have any problem with it.
Yep.
I'm usually here.
Yeah, you're usually working till 7:15. Okay, does that need to be in the form of a motion? I think that does, doesn't it?
Won't hurt. I'll make a motion to change the meeting times for the Manistee Township Board from 7:30 PM to 7 PM starting January 2016.
Support? Any support?
I support.
It's been moved, supported that the township board meetings be held at 7 PM rather than 7:30 PM. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. None opposed? Carried. Next item is township credit card use resolution. You have a sample, or you have the resolution, not a sample, you have the resolution in your packet. In the past, the supervisor had a credit card in his wallet, and circumstances being what they are, the credit card, the township board needs a credit card. Currently doesn't have one. Currently a board member is using their own credit card and asking for reimbursement. This is the credit card. We've researched the credit cards available through different lending institutions. It'd be from a local lending institution that we do business with. And part of that application is we have to have a credit card use policy resolution.
I support this credit card use policy resolution.
You made a motion?
Yeah, I'm making a motion.
I'll support.
Been moved and supported that we adopt the credit card use policy resolution. It's a, would you like to shed some light on it?
There's an optional phrase on page 2 at the bottom of it that needs to be addressed.
Roll call vote, is that?
And it can be.
No, no.
No, Jay.
No.
Item
J.
J.
It can be taken
Yeah.
out, it can be taken out, and who can be a separate issue.
We're only gonna get one card.
Well, that's fine,
Who's gonna get it, you?
that's up to the board. But in order to even apply for the card, within the minutes, once the resolution is adopted, who is issued a card needs to be specified in our minutes.
All right.
So it can be specified within the resolution, or it can be specified separate from the resolution.
Let's do it all at once. I would suggest that the Township Board limit the issuance and use of the Township credit card to the clerk.
And you want that part of the resolution and not the minutes, is what you're saying. Is that what I'm understanding?
All right?
It is, but by putting it in the resolution, then if we want to make a change to it, the whole resolution has to be reviewed instead of just the minutes
Oh,
changed.
you told me. No, I don't want a part of it. No, I don't want a part of it.
So we should.
So we'll
vote on
address-
the-
we'll
should
just
vote on
address
the
the
motion.
J will be taken out, and then the resolution, if it works for you, can stand on its own.
So the motion by Connie, supported by John,
It's without J.
is
Is without J.
to accept a credit card use policy resolution without item J. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Is that correct, John?
Yes, but with this resolution, as simple or as complex as it is, relatively simple, if we want to change that, is that a hassle to change?
It's in here.
That's what,
The wording in here.
No.
it's just as easy to change your resolution as it is to change the people on it, is it not?
Could you explain what you explained to me? Article E, I think it is? Is that correct?
Well,
Yeah.
that's part of what we changed. Okay. This is basically a use resolution, and at this point in time, E, we probably won't have any employees with a credit card. If you decided to have them with a credit card at a later date, then you could have board action and you could say, I want Susie Smith to have a credit card without changing this.
Okay, that's my question. Is it not just as easy to change this as it is to come have a board meeting and say we want Susie Smith to have one?
You can have Susie Smith have a credit card with a motion as opposed to having a whole policy change.
Okay, okay.
And the difference is when you change a policy,
All
then you
right.
have to go to all the entities and give them the new policy.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions? I believe we want a roll call vote.
Yes, you do. You,
Yes. Yes, I will.
You?
that's not what,
You?
that's
And
not
you?
what I meant.
And you?
Did you do the motion for this resolution?
Yes. And then
Okay,
John
and John
supports.
supported. That's what I needed, not.
I'll get the camera, it's you.
You got the you, of course. That's like, yeah, every 6 months we get something special on camera. Okay. Mr. Fino,
Yes.
You run.
Mr. Duns,
Yes.
Ms. Jankwitz,
Yes.
Mr. You have to be last.
Okay.
Mr. Barquist coming?
Yes,
Next?
yes.
Okay, yes. So we have yes, all the way across.
Motion carried. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Fun.
Anything else under new business?
Um,
Other than it was your birthday? Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Anything else under new business?
Yeah.
My birthday last Friday.
Happy
And
birthday.
the alternative was not so good, so I was glad to have one.
Okay, you've received a copy of your bills. It's in a different format. It should be easier to read once you understand what is taking place. If you had a chance to look them over, I would entertain a motion to pay the bills provided.
I'll make a motion to allow the bills paid as presented and placed on file.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved, supported that the bills be paid as presented, placed on file. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We don't know when the next MTA meeting is.
It's
Not
not until,
until-
Spring.
spring.
Yeah,
February
it's
or
in spring,
March.
but we don't know when, right?
Well, let me look.
March, I believe.
Yep, March 23rd, Norman Township, 7 PM.
Okay, thank you. Zoning Board of Appeals will meet, and with the Township Planning Commission on Thursday, December 3rd, at 7 PM here at the hall. Next regular meeting of the Manistee Township Board will be Thursday, December 10th, 2015 at 7:30. That'll be our last meeting at 7:30 here at the Township Hall. Any other public comment? Motion's in order.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Support, any support?
I support.
It's been moved, supported, we adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Carried. Thank you very much for your time.